Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. So in 2022, the NBA dropped an all-NBA 75 team, basically the 75 best basketball players to walk planet Earth, and the biggest snub of this list was Klay Thompson. Today, we're going to be analyzing Klay Thompson's all-time ranking and where he stacks up against the 5 best shooting guards in NBA history. So first, we're going to dive into some of his accolades. So Klay Thompson's a one-time All-NBA defensive team player. He's a 2-time All-NBA player, a 1-time All-Rookie guy, 1-time Olympic gold medalist, 4-time NBA champion. He's a 5-time All-Star, and he won Best Comeback Athlete of the Year in 2022 for the ESPYS. He has 7 seasons averaging above 20 points per game, 9 seasons averaging over 40% from the 3, 4 playoff runs averaging above 40% from the 3 as well. His career averages 19.7 points per game, 1.7 turnovers a game, 2.3 assists per game, 3.6 rebounds a game, 85% from the free throw line, 41.6% from 3, 45.5% from the field, 33 minutes a game, and in the playoffs, 19.2 points per game, 41% from the 3, 44% from the field, in 145 game sample size. So a pretty good sample size for those playoff stats. In 2016, he had 60 points in 29 minutes, which is the quickest time anyone has ever scored 60 points in an NBA game. He has the record for most points scored in a quarter ever with 37, and he has the most threes in an NBA game with 14. So getting into Klay Thompson and really his all-time ranking compared to other shooting guards, the one negative that he does have, the one real negative, is all of these other shooting guards were the best player on a very, very prolific team, a team that either won the NBA Finals or a team that really made a deep playoff run. Klay Thompson does not have this, but here's where the interesting conversation comes in with Klay Thompson and why I really argue why it's a push, where Klay Thompson has a lot of accolades over some other all-time great players and some other all-time great players have accolades over Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was never given the keys to an offense. Klay Thompson was never given a situation in his career where he was the best player on a very good team. And this is a matter of circumstance. This isn't really his fault. So just as we can say Allen Iverson, who we're really going to dive into in this video, just as we can say Allen Iverson was never given Steph Curry in this Warriors team, you can also say Klay Thompson was never given the keys to an offense, the number 1 player on a team with the 6th man of the year and a team with the defensive player of the year as well. So basically, Klay Thompson doesn't have nearly the sheer amount of accolades as some of the other all-time great shooting guards, but Klay Thompson also has team success over these guys. So I'm really going to try to eliminate the situation from the player and basically make it as though Klay Thompson was given an equal opportunity to these 2 guys I'm really going to be comparing them to in this video, and vice versa. James Harden and Allen Iverson are going to be given the circumstance that Klay Thompson was given in this hypothetical scenario where I'm comparing these guys. So I've been researching some consensus top 5 shooting guard of all time lists. Klay Thompson ranks about 12th to 15th on some of these lists. I've seen him as high as 8. But for the most part, there's been a pretty consistent consensus on the top 5 shooting guards of all time, which is Michael Jordan at 1, Kobe Bryant at 2, and Dwayne Wade at 3 to round out the top 3. I'm not even going to touch into Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade in this video. They are clearly head above shoulders better than Klay Thompson all time. They have the accolades, they have the individual success, they have the team success, they have the statistics, they have everything over Klay Thompson. I don't even think mentioning these guys more than I just did is even worth it for this video. This video would go from 10 minutes long to an hour long, so we're not going to get into those guys today. We're going to get into the guys that I think are consistently the 4th and 5th best considered shooting guards of all time, and it's going to be Allen Iverson and James Harden. Let's dive into Allen Iverson versus Klay Thompson first. So one thing Allen Iverson really does have above Klay Thompson is that longevity. He has an insane career of longevity, a lot of seasons averaging 20 points per game. Let's get into it. So he's a 4-time scoring champ, and Klay Thompson's a 0-time scoring champ. He's a 3-time steals champ. He's a 7-time All-NBA player. He's a 1-time MVP. He averaged 26.7 points per game on his career, 3.6 turnovers a game, 31% from the three, 42% from the field. For his playoff career, not nearly as big of a sample size as Klay Thompson, which really does favor Klay Thompson, but his playoff averages 29.7 points per game, 6 assists per game, 40% from the field, and he has a career high of 60 points, which is also the same career high as Klay Thompson. So let's get right into it. Who do I think would be better in each other's situations, Klay Thompson or Allen Iverson? And this really is the conversation for Klay Thompson and why you can argue that he's a better all-time player than Allen Iverson. I'm pretty torn on this conversation, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But let's get into it. Allen Iverson, in my opinion, clearly would not have been as good for the Warriors in this Golden State Warrior dynasty as Klay Thompson. Let's get into it first with the defense. Of course, I just mentioned Allen Iverson is a 3-time steals leading champion. Allen Iverson has significantly more career steals than Klay Thompson, not only for his per game averages and per season averages, but for his career totals. Allen Iverson is a self-admitted non-trier on defense. Allen Iverson has outright said, I don't care about defense. I never cared about defense. I would literally just bait for steals. And this is a perfect example of why stats, specifically defensive stats and all-time stats, are so significantly overrated. Ask anyone in their right mind, who is a better defender, Klay Thompson or Steph Curry? Everyone's going to tell you Klay Thompson's a better defender than Steph Curry. Steph Curry was outright hidden on defense in every single playoff run. Meanwhile, Klay Thompson was guarding by far the best guard on the opposing team, if not the best player outright on the other team. Guess what, guys? Steph Curry has more steals than Klay Thompson. Not only all time, but on a season-to-season, game-to-game statistical average. So to say Allen Iverson is even close to a defender that Klay Thompson was in his prime, just because Allen Iverson had more steals, is absolutely ludicrous. Make no mistake about it. Allen Iverson is a tiny basketball player on defense. He plays even smaller than his frame would suggest because he plays bigger than his frame would suggest on offense. But on defense, he would get bullied out there. He was surrounded by great defensive talent, especially in that 2001 playoff run he went on where they ended up playing the Lakers in the finals. So you look at a player who needs to be paired with Steph Curry. If Allen Iverson was paired in the backcourt with Steph Curry, I honestly, genuinely don't think they win 4 NBA finals. I don't even know if they end up winning more than 2. I think they easily win 2 with Kevin Durant coming. But besides that, this defensive backcourt would get absolutely exposed. Klay Thompson is so significantly better of a defensive presence than Allen Iverson. The perimeter defense, it's not even close. Klay Thompson's a 6'6" wing that could guard 1 through 3 at a very high rate. He has a nice center of gravity to the point where if he has a bigger defender backing him down, he can actually hold his own in the paint defense as well. Klay Thompson is one of the most valuable players defensively on one of the better defensive teams of not only the 2010s, but of any team of all time as well. That 72-win Warriors team had one of the best defensive ratings of all time. And Klay Thompson, let's be completely honest here, was the best primary defender on those all-time great teams. Andre Iguodala, they somewhat saved him until the playoffs. His on-off metrics in the regular season were on par with Klay Thompson. And then you get into Draymond Green. Draymond Green is more of a rover out there on defense. He's more of an off-ball defender who really directs traffic from the back end, is great with his switchability. But was he guarding Kyrie Irving in the finals? No, he was not. Was he guarding Kevin Love in the finals? Not really. Was he guarding the best player on the court, LeBron James? Not really. You look up the defensive statistics in terms of time defended. Draymond Green, out of the 4 NBA finals that they played against the Cavaliers, his primary defender going up against him when he was on defense and the Cavaliers were on offense was Tristan Thompson. So I think Klay Thompson really gets underrated with his defensive ability. Talking about his offense now compared to Allen Iverson, I think he's a much better pair with a great player. He's significantly more efficient, not only in his 2-point percentage, but his 3-point percentage as well. His shot selection is better. He has more of an ability to get open shots off ball. I think there is a common misconception with Klay Thompson that if he was on his own team, if he was given the keys to a James Harden offense, the keys to an Allen Iverson offense, then he wouldn't be able to produce nearly as much of points. Again, Klay Thompson is a guy who had 60 points in 29 minutes. Allen Iverson's career high is 60 points. Now, career highs aren't equivalent to how good of a scorer you are. I'm never going to argue that a guy like Devin Booker is a better scorer than Allen Iverson. I completely understand that. But the thing is with Allen Iverson, he's a one-trick pony. He's going to get to the mid-range and he's going to try to work from the mid-range. Is he good in the paint? Yes, of course he is. But he's a smaller guard, and a smaller guard really struggles with that shot selection once you get into the playoffs. And that really was the story of Allen Iverson's career. The thing is with Allen Iverson, once he got to Denver, once he got to the Nuggets, he was still an incredible player. But the thing is, he could not work well alongside Carmelo Anthony, so he retired early. Allen Iverson really would not be a good player, a very great championship player on any other team but a team that had him as the number one and a team that had him as the focal point. And that's the thing. He doesn't have that skill set that's translatable to great, all-time great team success. So that's really the argument against Allen Iverson. Again, you're telling me if Klay Thompson got 25, 30 shots a game, he got a bunch of plays set for him every single game, he couldn't have averaged 28 points per game, 25, 26 points per game? I find that so hard to believe because he's had some seasons where his per 36 minutes are equivalent to some of Allen Iverson's, but significantly more efficient. Again, do I think he ever would have had those high-end 33-point per game seasons that Allen Iverson did? No, I don't, but I think he would have been averaging 26, 27 points per game significantly more efficiently than Allen Iverson. So that really is the argument for Klay Thompson over Allen Iverson. Getting into James Harden. So James Harden is a 3-time scoring champ, 10-time All-Star, a 7-time All-NBA player. He is an MVP. He won Six-Man Player of the Year. He's a career 24.7 point per game guy, 3.7 turnovers a game, 36% from the three, 44% from the field, playoff averages 22 points per game, 3.5 turnovers a game, 6.2 assists per game, 5.5 rebounds a game, 33.5% from the three, and 42.6% from the two. And he has a career high of 61 points. Again, really getting into the defense, I think James Harden's a bit of an underrated defender. I think he doesn't get enough credit for being a pretty solid, a league average to slightly above league average defender with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he's had some good stretches on the Rockets, on the Nets, on the 76ers, at times playing good paint defense, but his perimeter defense has never been that good, and it's never been even close to Klay Thompson's accolades and just prowess on defense. Again, Klay Thompson could be the primary defender on a team that has the best record in regular season history, a team that won 4 NBA Finals. Again, I will always hold that Klay Thompson, not Draymond Green, was the best primary defender on those teams. Draymond Green was guarding Tristan Thompson in the finals. Give me a break, Draymond Green. Klay Thompson was guarding Kyrie Irving. That's besides the point. But with James Harden, again, it's the same conversation with Allen Iverson. You really think if Klay Thompson was given the keys to a Mike D'Antoni system, was surrounded by a bunch of great three-point shooters with a good rim runner in Clint Capella, then later on in his career, he was given a great pass primary first point guard in Chris Paul. You're telling me that Klay Thompson in this system couldn't put up 27, 28 points per game more efficiently than James Harden? Again, would he have won an MVP? Maybe not. Would he have averaged 33, 34 points per game? Probably not, but he would have averaged slightly less points per game on significantly better efficiency, and that really is the conversation. And again, James Harden, with his skill set matching up with Steph Curry in the late 2010s, early 2020s, I think he would have been a better pairing for Steph Curry than Allen Iverson would have been, but still, James Harden is a guy where you look at his splits with catch and shoot threes and off dribble threes. He's much better with the ball in his hands. He's much better off the dribble. And when you talk about activity with Klay Thompson off the ball, which is vital in a Golden State Warriors skill set, Klay Thompson's a guy who has multiple seasons with the highest amount of miles ran in a season, meaning he's constantly moving off ball. James Harden's a guy who's notorious for really doing absolutely nothing off ball. Again, I completely get it. The first season he was with the Rockets, he was a very good off ball player. And on the Oklahoma City Thunder, he was a much better off ball mover than he is today. But still, you have to give the accolades and just the benefit of the doubt to Klay Thompson as a complimentary basketball player compared to other guys, because we've seen James Harden be the number 2. We've seen Allen Iverson be the number 2. And they really can't stand being the number 2 and the number 1 on their best team. They've been great players, but they've come up short. And to me, a significant reason why they've come up short isn't necessarily their team failing them, but them failing themselves with their own inefficient play style. So to me, it would be a very interesting conversation ranking Klay Thompson in the top 5. To me, I think I still have Allen Iverson over Klay Thompson, but I honestly do think Klay Thompson's a better all-time player than James Harden. Not in terms of all-time greatness, but in terms of who is a better pound-for-pound basketball player. Give me Klay Thompson. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.